feeling this guy.
It's kind of mad, eh? Like the last 12 months, when you talk about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to describe.
Well, it's a bit of a blur though.
I know, but like.
And that's like.
It's like a full year now. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Like what was I doing for like?
You weren't doing much.
No, I know. Like what do you even do? I can't even remember. I feel like you just kind of forget.
Yeah.
Like on purpose as well.
Well, yeah, this is it. I was going to say it was a bit of a conscious effort to forget.
Yeah.
Like I really didn't enjoy that first month and a half.
No,
when you
really
were in pain.
struggled with that.
Yeah. I did not enjoy that.
I actually think you were like not yourself.
No, I wasn't.
But I mean, it's understandable. Neither was I, really.
That's outrageous!
She is literally one of the most talented players I've ever seen.
Brother and my sister, we just spent hours like kicking the ball against that board.
That was when I realised that actually there's something here.
She just spent hours and hours and hours pretending she was Zinedine Zidane.
Zidane got taken off.
Just don't film her driving.
Probably keep talking about our left foot for this whole interview.
Ella sabe que yo le llamo la cabra.
Sometimes she doesn't understand my Spanish.
And when you've got Kaz Weir on the pitch, then you get special.
I'd rather this wasn't on camera just now because it does make me quite tearful.
Well, it's concerning the way Caroline Weir has gone down.
Stop crying about it. It's so embarrassing.
She's just got her head down, got on with it.
You really do wonder if you're going to get back to playing.
There's no equal about her.
She's a fantastic role model.
She'll be inspiring so many young girls around the country.
You're going to be on camera. She is made for the cameras, to be fair. Hi everyone. Today we're off to a Puma photo shoot. I think we'll be shooting like some of the new collection, maybe some of the new boots as well that'll come out in a couple of months. So we do this like maybe once or twice a season, and they get like all the Puma players that are based in Madrid to come along and yeah, just do a couple of hours. Do you know what, like I don't mind doing them, like they can be quite fun, but like I wouldn't say I'm the most natural at posing in front of the camera. Like when they ask you to do like different faces and stuff, I do find that quite difficult, and like or act at all, like I really can't, I'm not good at that at all. Like I find it quite embarrassing. Like I just love the big games so much, like that's literally, I guess that's how I judge my seasons. Like obviously being at Real Madrid, that was a dream of mine since I've been really young, and playing, you know, El Clasico, Champions League, like all these big games, like the same at City.
Today we come live from the Etihad, the home of Manchester City. There is a Manchester derby here today, and the WSL is back.
It was always like, what cup finals were we playing in, the Chelsea games, the Arsenal games, but I just used to love like the build-up, you know, the atmosphere, the pressure, like if you win this, you go top of the league, you got a chance of winning the league or not, like that's what I really kind of judge my seasons off, I guess.
Good afternoon, everybody. An historic rivalry rebooted. City against United. A contest steeped in football folklore. Now the women's game can start writing its own chapters. Manastaki thought there was a glimpse of an opportunity to snatch back possession. Weir, decent hit, wonderful goal. The first ever in a Manchester derby in FA WSL is an absolute blinder, scored by Caroline Weir.
What are the conversations like though after she does something like that? Is it just fairly relaxed?
No, we just keep replaying it.
Yeah,
about 100 times.
Do you want that ball blown up? Do you want that ball blown up?
Her first ever Scotland strip. And this is her 100th.
I found these.
Oh, good for you.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember it well.
Yes.
All 4 of them I remember.
Yes. Well, that one's a cute one.
Yes.
And look at her there. She's hilarious.
The earliest memory is probably when I was like 4 and just playing in the garden. One of my sisters and my brother love football as well, so yeah, I feel like it was always sunny. I don't know, that's the memory, which obviously is not true because it was Dunfermline, but yeah, just like in the garden, kicking a ball about, and then like birthday parties being football, like everything was just football.
I think she was about 4 and her
Sorry, I
eldest-
was going to say she was about 2.
My dad saw that we were really into our football, and when we were quite young he built like this wooden board, painted it green and then drew like white goals on it.
It was our next door neighbour who said to me one day, I think you've got a good wee footballer there.
Yeah, so chat about Caroline.
Let's chat about Caroline. Brother and my sister, we just spent hours like kicking the ball against that board.
So there was a bit of sibling rivalry with the football because Caroline was better than me, and it annoyed me.
In the back garden, Robert, Kirsten, Caroline. The fights, the swearing, and I was really naive.
No.
So competitive, yeah. Like there were so many fights in that garden.
It's funny because in the formative years, probably of like 0 to 4, I probably, threw balls at her. It was useful, I suppose, because even in the garden, that's when I would kick her a lot. Like it was really annoying because she would just skin me. And then my wee brother as well, we'd maybe go 2 against 1, still lose.
You know, stealing each other's footballs, because we kind of had like 1 each, and yeah, we would just like kick each other's balls like over the fence. But I do think that's where the competitiveness came from, and all of us, like all 4 of us, have that within us, and I think, you know, it all kind of started in the garden.
Honestly, Lindsay was such an indulgent dad.
I was quite glad Caroline actually made it as a footballer because he invested a lot of time, money, effort, and then just driving us about the country, and I was like, if you'd done all that for me, I would have been like, sorry. But at least Caroline's kind of like done something with it. Exactly, yeah.
She just spent hours and hours and hours
Literally.
pretending she was Zinedine Zidane.
The playtime bell would ring and the first person you see out, ball under her arm, would be little Caroline.
That's where it all started, you know, playing in a team, training like once a week with them.
And so, I think when you go to school too and all the boys are playing the playground, that's when you really join and you get into the football.
Well, my main worry is when she was playing the games, she was going to get knocked over because she was that small. But I didn't have to worry because the ability Caroline had on the ball, she was nutmegging kids, she was her pace, her left foot, the goal she was scoring.
And when she played for Elgin Stars and for the boys team down at Petrivi, and all these dads in the opposing team would be going, oh, there's that lassie on the team. And sometimes, then of course they realised she could play. And then when she scored, then it would be kind of take her down. And you'd just think, that's my daughter, don't you dare. And I would get so,
The initial reaction was, oh, look at that team picking Crieff, they've got a girl on their team. This should be an easy game, but my God, Caroline done her talking on the pitch with her feet.
Every Saturday morning, obviously, then when I joined the boys team and played for Elgin Star, Petrivi was where we spent a lot of time, like because all 3 of us played in different age groups. So my dad would be watching games from like 9 till 12 every Saturday morning. It's only looking back a little bit now, and I think I quite enjoyed it. Like I think I like proving myself, because obviously I knew there weren't many other girls playing, if any. So I could kind of see that, and the odd comment maybe like that I would hear, like, oh, they've got a girl in their team, like we'll beat them, like whatever. And I think that does kind of impact you a little bit, even when you're young. But you know, I did kind of realise that, and I enjoyed trying to prove people wrong. even from like an early age. So I do think that's still within me for sure, and as much as the game has gone like, you know, to these amazing heights, and you know, there's still a way to go, but it's, you know, it's grown so much, there's still a bit of me that is always trying to prove people wrong, and or maybe just prove to myself. I don't know, it's probably a bit of both now, but yeah, I think that started probably back then as well.
No, I think it's quite random, but it is cool to see it every day. And like I said, I point it out to my son now, being like, that's your auntie on the wall. I do think it's quite nice. Our primary school is like 2-minute walk from here, and I think primary school, it does actually shape you quite a lot. Like there was a lot of support for playing football and for all sports. I think that connection's quite nice. Yeah. So yeah.
Vamos. There's Spanish. Thanks, guys. Feeling.
They're cool though. They look good on the pitch. On your side.
On the pitch?
Do you want to do anything, or
do you want masturbating in the lips or something, or maybe
hair?
Yeah,
my
hair
hair.
right?
Yeah, I think we could have brought her.
Yeah, we actually could have.
Already.
Just look into them and see who is better.
How many is it per? That realistic? I know you're all watching. Like,
Do it again.
Okay.
But that was a good one.
Do you want to do?
Hey.
This is what we do at home.
No, it's not. I don't.
Right, that's enough. We don't actually do this at home.
Are you asking the questions? Yeah. Right, cool.
I got to 10 and I actually remember in the car, like conversations, genuinely like, right Dad, like what's the next move here? Like I can't play with the boys forever. And like, what are we doing? And so like that happened, but my dad was really good. Like he was quite patient. He was like, you know, we'll see what the options are, but like for now you've just got to keep enjoying it and like keep working hard and keep practicing. He was always like practice.
Yeah, she went to Hibs, and there's a super guy who's coaching them called Ronnie Hamilton. He said, well, we've got enough players for the under 13s at the moment, but you know, bring her along anyway. So I took her along on one night and he was just sold, and he said, the best I've ever seen.
I joined under 13s at age 10 and that was the start of my time at Hibs. I loved having the proper Hibs kit. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it was a good setup that we had, and they won everything through the years at Hibs. They had a very good team, not just Caroline.
So yeah, I think I just loved being around like other girls like me, because I hadn't ever had that before.
We didn't have a lot of girls playing football at that time, to be honest, you know. And I knew Caroline was there, and I knew she was a good footballer from about the age of 12, 13. But she was really, she stood out, just her talent. But I think it was her personality as well. She just had a fantastic manner about her, you know. She was modest, but clearly gifted. There's a trophy that's sitting in her trophy cabinet. And this is the trophy that Caroline won when she was playing with our girls team. She was about S3 at that point, one of the youngest players in the team. And this is the Coca-Cola Scottish Cup, 7-a-sides, played at Tynecastle, and our school won it, and Caroline was the player of the tournament. I think this is actually the medal that she won that she gave me, and that trophy sat on top of the filing cabinet in my office until we found a place that we could put it in the new building. So that trophy still sits in the school. It was the first, and it's actually the last girls' trophy we've got as well for football.
It was back in the early days, around 2010, 2011, was when she kind of first broke into the adult side of the club. As I said, she had all of the characteristics, all of the footballing attributes. You could see that she had the desire to want to be better every day, every week, and she had the ambition to not only play for the women's first team at Hibs, but also to go on and represent our national team.
Like, there were good memories. I think they were quite hard times. Like, it was really like playing in the senior game was a step up, especially physically for me. Like, I think I was always told growing up the physical aspects of my game were where I needed to improve. It's like, you need to be stronger, you need to be quicker, you need to protect the ball better, like those kind of things where like each coach at different age groups would tell me those things. And I think at first, like, that was definitely an aspect of my game that I struggled with, just being, because I was quite like lanky for my age. Like, I had long legs and like long arms, and when you're 16 and you know, you're not quite coordinated, so I think it took me a little bit of time to adapt to, and also that age and stage in life of going through all the changes that come with being a teenager. Like, it's difficult.
So I work with the seniors as their transition onto whatever they're going to do when they leave. So I got to know Caroline really well, because she would often talk about, I knew her quite well as well because she was playing for Hibs, and as a Hibs fan myself, I used to chat to her about the football and how she was getting on, and then as things started to develop towards the end and she was about to make her choice, Arsenal came in for her at that point, and I remember how excited she was about the possibility, and she was going down for a visit, and suddenly it was like she'd gone from, you know, a girl who's hoping for football to be her career and combining studies to, well, she's maybe going to Arsenal. And they came and offered her a package where she could continue her studying at university along with playing, and it was just like, wow, perfect.
How tough was that?
On you go.
I can't. When Shelley Carter took her down to Arsenal and we were supposed to go on a holiday, I went down and we went out for lunch, and Caroline couldn't eat anything. And I was dumping her in St Albans.
Shelley was like, you can go on the holiday, you know, it'd been booked, and it was like, I know what I'm like, I just won't enjoy it. Like, if I know I could be training you know, in my new team and getting to know the players, and just, you know, 2 weeks worth of training. And I stayed down in London and trained, and you know, started pre-season with Arsenal. So there's just certain choices that you kind of have to make, and if you want to kind of achieve things, and that's like probably an example of one.
It just really upset me, because here was this cute 18-year-old who was just lovely, and you know,
you're not biased at all.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered which one it was.
Yeah.
I would have had the same reaction, but I just felt terribly bereft, because I just thought, you really have to make a decision that this is what you want, and it doesn't matter what's going on around you, you have to stay focused, and I admire that so much.
So you don't want to see me? My hands are that cold as well. See? I can't clap. Good. So it is a massive jump now, and it was a massive jump then. Other than the US, there was probably no better league, arguably, for Caroline to go to. And Arsenal were, again, a top team. You're talking about the players that she was playing with up here. You're going down a side that has, you know, Alex Scotts, Kelly Smiths, Rachel Yankees. They are top England internationals, and it was a jump. It made her grow up fast.
But there were funny moments at Arsenal. She had a wee Chinkachenko, so you know the cars that the in-betweeners had. So she had one. Hers was maroon.
To be fair, I love that car. I got it on my 17th birthday.
Well, of course, Caroline drove it all around London, everywhere. We were in the back of it. I thought I was going to die.
So I was just driving to centre London at like 18 in this like absolute banger of a car.
I just thought, I'm not going to see the next day. Anyway, she used to park it in the car park at Arsenal.
Sometimes they would really question if I was a player, like if they'd let me in. And I was like, I promise you, like, play for the women's team. And then, yeah, I remember my first ever date, like, genuinely, this was my first day, and I parked up beside Kelly Smith's, like, Range Rover. Had definite, like, imposter syndrome when I looked around the changing room. I was like, how the heck have I ended up here?
Yeah, I'll probably keep talking about our left foot for this whole interview.
She was going into a very tough and top environment.
You've got Alex Scott, Kelly Smith, Rachel Yankee, Jordan Nobbs, Kim Little.
We were in training and they were like, we've got a new signing in terms of a young Scottish player that's going to come down and she's going to join us. And obviously my first reaction is to go to Jennifer Beattie, Kim Little, and ask them about Caroline Weir, and they were like, yeah, mate, she's like a star in the making.
All these players that were a lot older than me, like way more experience, you know, better than me, and I was just like this is weird. So I found that so difficult.
I remember the first time I seen Kaz, and you had to see her because she was very, very quiet and very, very shy. And I remember her coming into training, and I think in that first session, I think she's just obviously trying to find her feet, but you could just tell from like a technical point of view that she had such a good left foot. And I think then you're like wanting her to come out, and it took a lot of time to be able to do that.
So Caroline was on her own, so she was going to this retail park every weekend and in Costa, and she would speak to us and we'd speak to her. You know, it wasn't FaceTime in those days. What was it?
Yeah, I was on FaceTime a lot, or probably Skype.
But anyway, we would chat to her, and Caroline is incredibly resilient.
I think my parents could definitely see I wasn't overly happy.
But there was just one time, and I spoke to her and I just thought, I think you're just a wee bit down.
I think like my parents were so supportive. Like I'm really lucky to be surrounded by like such good people now, but also then. And my parents were so supportive. And I think my dad always said, he was like, no matter what, like you can always come home. Like if it doesn't work out, like you can come back and, you know, we'll figure it out. So like I always had that in the back of my mind. And there were a few moments where I was super homesick, not really enjoying the football, finding it really difficult. And I was like, I actually, like, this was my dream, but it really doesn't feel like it. Like, I'm really not loving it. And Dad was like, well, just come home, like, it's fine. And as soon as he said that, I was like, I just can't.
You see the rewards, they're kind of obvious, but you don't see the hard times, and there are hard times.
Because obviously it's a big move going from Scotland to London, and I felt that coming from the northeast. You kind of just go, right, okay, like, I like this girl and I want to kind of look after her. But my first impressions were, yeah, I couldn't wait to see her come out and be the player that she has been.
Yeah, London, St Albans was so different to Dunfermline.
If you could just give me a big clap.
So I met Caroline probably when we were about 7 or 8. We went to the same Sunday school together, our families went to the same church.
I actually met Caroline playing football, funnily enough, when we were like, it must have been about 9 or 10. And I didn't actually know Caroline specifically, but I could always remember her because she was obviously one of the only girls that played football back then. And I used to always remember playing, and like my dad and all the other boys and stuff would be like, oh, we're playing, it was Elgin Star that Caroline played for, and I'd be like, that's the team that girl plays for, she's good. And literally that's like the first time I ever remember me and Caroline.
She's got a really nice group of friends that are not football-y at all. They don't really care what happens on the football pitch because she'll always have her buddies.
But you did say you were sometimes scared to go in for a tackle, or that you didn't want to be like
I used to think like, oh, I can't go and like tackle her and that, and then I would try and tackle her and still couldn't, so it didn't really matter.
I think it is really important to have normal people, you know, that are not footballers, because as much as it's great having people that understand the schedule and like the pressure and training and everything that goes with being a footballer, I love my friends that are not involved.
I would say she definitely did have another side of her. She played football obviously from a young age, but she was never boastful about it. She would never, you know, dominate a conversation, which she would absolutely have the right to do, to talk about all her accomplishments, but she was never like that.
She never really needed to like say that herself, and to be honest, most of the time she's quite embarrassed by it. They've been so supportive as well, because they followed her about Europe.
She's always lived in really cool places, which I think has made it quite good for us as well. So we've been able to like enjoy, enjoy weekends away in Manchester, or Liverpool, and now Madrid. So we've always had it's always been good fun whenever we do go out and see her.
Yeah, really useful to give her a kind of break and just a bit of different chat. Like she can chat about the Kardashians with them.
Partidos.
How is your knee?
Bien, sí. Yo fui en Tenerife on domingo.
To play or?
Sí. Usually Viviana speaks in English and I speak in Spanish because she's practicing her English. And sometimes she doesn't understand my Spanish. So. When I first moved, it was probably the first thing that I had to find was a nail place, because I've always had my nails done. So like it's one of the few things that we can do like when we're playing. I think it just, I don't know, it just makes me feel a little bit more like, I don't know, feminine, and like having like a bright colour, like, I don't know. I think it's kind of changing now. Like you'll see like, you know, like some of the big profiles, like they have a certain look, and like image is, you know, big thing for some players. Like obviously it's totally individual, and what anyone wants to do or look like is for them, but I guess like quite early on I was quite conscious of like I wear makeup and, you know, maybe wear lashes, get my eyebrows done, like have nails, like that's always been a part of me and off the pitch. So I wouldn't want to change that, and like if that's on the pitch, then that's just normal for me. Kind of pick my colours based on the seasons. So in the summer I'll go like probably bright pink, a bit of red maybe like February, March, springtime. Usually I pick pink, usually it's rosa, no. I've just always had it for the last like, I don't know, 10 years. It was actually when I moved to Liverpool, because like, and I was friends with Katie Zellum, and she was looking at my nails one day and she was like, Kaz, like you need to get them sorted. And I was like, okay. And so like we went to get our nails done together, and we started off like, mine were really short and like quite like minimal, and then as I've gone they've got longer and longer and like brighter, and like now we just never like not get them done basically. Is this like the weirdest interview you've ever done?
Congratulations on your signing for Bristol Academy. What attracted you to Bristol?
I think obviously it's quite a professional environment, and we play in the WSL, so I enjoy playing in England. Obviously Willie's my old manager, so I know him quite well. So there's a number of factors, but yeah, I'm excited to be here and get started.
I think her willingness to go outside of her comfort zone, the first move to Arsenal, and then actually the willingness to go to Bristol. Like I said, she didn't not want to go to Bristol because it was Bristol and they were getting relegated. She wanted to play and she wanted to improve. So I think that was when I realised that actually there's something here.
I've been lucky enough to play a lot, you know, and not be on the bench. And then I was on the bench pretty much every game. So I think my confidence took like a massive knock for that. But looking back, like, of course I was on the bench.
Being 18, she wasn't going to get in the first team at Arsenal because they were a good side. So again, it was quite lonely because, you know, even if she was on the bench for the first team and not playing, you have to be at 18, 19, 20, you have to be playing and every week.
I was always thinking about playing, like I wanted to play and improving. Like one of my biggest things growing up is like if I thought I was standing still at any point, like that used to give me the fear. Like if I thought I wasn't improving, So like that goes back to my conversation with my dad, and I thought, I'm just like, I'm not going anywhere here. Like that's the worst feeling. And I think maybe I thought I was starting to stand still a little bit. Like I've signed for Arsenal, but I'm not playing. I'm just training. Like, am I actually getting better? I knew I was learning loads of other valuable things at the time. So it was like, okay, it's cool. Like I'm training with these players. I'm living away. I'm learning a lot. But you know, you want to be playing.
It maybe came a little bit too soon for her. She made the move then to Bristol and got game time again under Willie Kirk, which was really, really important.
So when the opportunity came when Willie went to Bristol, technically I dropped down in level team-wise, but I knew I had to be playing consistently. Like I really knew that was the most important thing for me. And I went for 4 months just to play every game and try and as well keep them in the league, because we were right at the bottom of the league. And it was probably one of the best decisions I ever made in my career. It was like one step backwards or sideways maybe to go forward.
Would you let me go? No, you never come back. I'ma be the best that you never had. I'ma kick back when you fake like that. Head out of the game, I don't play that fact. Would you let me go? No, you never come back. I'ma be the best that you never had.
I played for Bristol, we finished in November. I had Christmas, like all of December at home. I had that chunk of time to socialise and be at home and see my friends, and then I knew the move was coming to Liverpool in January. Yeah, I was just really excited. They gave me the number 10 shirt, which I wasn't expecting, and I just kind of carried that on from Bristol, and I was just really enjoying myself. And like I say, it was really easy because the team was so nice, the club was great, and I loved the place. So it was all kind of working out. Do you want up? So here are some of our kits. We've got Olga won the World Cup last year, so I've got one of hers. Linda, this one is actually from the World Cup when she scored that goal, which was up for an award, I think. It was an unreal goal, and she gave me that top in that game. We've got Rasso, another teammate, Kenty, another teammate, Kath, Brazil, another teammate from Real Madrid, and then I've got quite a few Welsh ones. Has one of my good friends from Bristol, my Bristol days. Janine, also need to give her a mention. She's one of my good friends. Janine Becky, who also did her ACL a little bit before me, and she was really helpful through my rehab. This one's quite cool. This one is Kevin De Bruyne signed. Yeah, cool top. This one you're gonna like because it's only John McGinn. So Josh is a massive John McGinn fan, like massive. And I messaged John and he sent me a top, and also he sent me a wedding video message for Josh. So I sent that to Josh on the morning of our wedding day, and it was, I think you were more buzzing about that than anything else really on the day. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a good one. The Pars. Come on, ye Pars. Obviously I have to have a Dunfermline top in my collection. And then these ones are a bit random, but these are actually Andy Murray's signed plain tops. So yeah, he's given me a couple over the years. So yeah, a couple of Andy Murray tops thrown in as well.
See a bit of a sport in Europe.
Andy, yeah, I do love Andy. Yeah, I think like before the surgery, I watched his documentary because he's had many surgeries and injuries. So I genuinely found it inspiring because like what happened with his hip, and like at least with my injury, you kind of know what you have to do, you know, to get back. That's about it really.
Hello, Yova. I'm not just saying it because I'm sat here now with you guys, but she is literally one of the most talented players I've ever seen. You know what? I can't even describe to you how technically good Kaz is. I had heard about Kaz kind of, I think when she was playing for Scotland, and they were saying, oh, we've got this up-and-coming younger midfielder, but I think you can hear about players and then play against them. But then I think my bigger appreciation for Kaz came when she joined Manchester City, and I remember being so excited. They were like, we're going to sign Caroline Weir, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And then there was a pause for about 2 seconds, and I thought, think I'm going to lose my place.
Oh, that's outrageous! That is outrageous from Caroline Weir!
Oh, that's quite naughty, isn't it?
Derby.
Put on to provide something special. Oh my goodness me, she has done!
Wow, look at that finish. I think I always used to say that she was kind of one step ahead to anybody else, and like how she even sees that the keeper's off the line, but such a special player. And honestly, I look back on my career and I just think for me it was such an honour to even step onto the same pitch as Kaz.
Sometimes you're not involved in the game, but when that moment comes, it's a big moment, and she's 9 times out of 10 took them big moments. I think I look at like some of the goals that we had to score at important times, and they're from Kaz Weir. Like we look at Man United derbies, she always used to score, and that was because I just feel as though them moments are made for special people and for people with special attributes, and they were unbelievable, and to be behind a lot of them goals was even better.
Did you feel that, or was that kind of more in hindsight, you saw how much your game came on?
I did kind of feel it, yeah, I could feel the change a little bit. I felt like a better player, like to be honest, like I did feel like I'd improved, and that's because I was playing with really good players around me. There was a clear structure in how we were playing that really suited my game. It was good for me and it worked well, and it created these moments that, like you say, propelled probably my career and took me to kind of a new level.
I think her being noticed comes from her herself. It doesn't come from the team. I think it's her performance individually, being able to assist, being able to score, but also being a threat, and where opposition are thinking we need to do something with Caroline Weir here, because without that Man City don't really tick.
I loved Liverpool, but I look back now, and because I was at City for a bit longer as well, and I met Josh, and I had a flat there, like Manchester and City I feel like was like proper, felt like home. It was like everything had kind of aligned, and me and Claire spent this one season at Man City together, and it was just like everything that we could have hoped for. Like, it was so fun, it was so funny.
I want to say anything. No, I can, but I feel like I'm going to cry.
No, you don't have to cry.
Okay, right. I don't know why I'm getting emotional, right. Gal, what a journey we've had so far. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited for lots more amazing memories in the future. Claire dance.
I think we did have a time where Jennifer Beattie, Claire Emsley, Kaz Weir, Jane Ross as well. So yeah, we did have a lot of the Scotland girls, but I don't think Kaz, even if you asked her now, I might be wrong, but I don't think she'd sit there and say I am one of the best female footballers, and in my opinion she certainly is.
Claire was in the team at that season, so Jen Beattie, so there was like a few Scots, and then you know it's like with Scottish people, we all just kind of gravitate towards each other and like just have banter that no one really seems to get if you're not from Scotland. So, like my first season at City, when Claire was there, Josh was there, like we were like 23, I was like 23 or 24, like you just don't really have any responsibilities. Like it was fun, and Manchester's so fun. Like obviously we were super professional and like trained hard and all those things, but I do think like it was the schedule wasn't as busy back then. Like even this is only what, 5-6 years ago, and there was more chance for a bit of downtime, and like we did a lot of things as a team, and so we were really lucky that we had, well, me and Claire had that season together playing at City, because they're just like such cool moments. Like I remember my first FA Cup final at Wembley for City against West Ham, and me and Claire did the same warm-up we did on Wembley that we've been doing for years, like at Scotland or at Hibs, like just basically booting the ball up in the air to each other and like seeing how good our first touch was. And like I remember we were looking around thinking this is pretty sick, like we were doing it together, and we're at Wembley, and I think like, when me and Claire are together, like you've been around us, like we're pretty immature, and like we kind of revert back to being like, I don't know, like a little 11-year-old, like just like little kids, and that was a really cool moment that I still remember.
arrived at the hotel. Caroline playing hard to get.
Every time she plays for Scotland, there's that sense of pride, there's that sense of nationalism, because we're all Scottish, and you know we really want Scotland to do well. And yeah, you know, it's great fun. You know, it's agonising sometimes, but it's also there's a sense of occasion going along to the match, which you can never take away, regardless of the result.
First met Caroline when she was playing for Hibs and I was playing for Hutchie Vale at like under 13, so I think she was probably about 10 and I was 11. And there was just this little girl, tiny, with a big massive Nike sweatband on, and I remember thinking, what is she wearing? Like, she got tennis at 3 o'clock or something. But she was amazing, and she had these Total 90 boots on, and I remember that the first time we played her, she ripped everyone to shreds.
Yeah, we played against each other loads, and then then she joined Hibs, and I did have a white headband. It used to like really hurt my ears actually because it was so tight.
They've had to do the hard work to do it, but it's been great to see them develop and move on. And certainly Claire, who's gone off to America, and Caroline, they've been playing since they were 12 at Hibs, and I've been friends since then. So it's a long time, and that's the nice thing about football. There are a lot of friends that Caroline has, and with the other girls.
It was our first ever trip, and I didn't know this at the time, but me and Caroline were roommates, and her mum had requested to the Scotland team walk-in she shared a room with Claire because she was nervous because she didn't know anyone else. But yeah, we both got our first games for Scotland together. So
of course, like going through the youth age groups, like it was class being under 15 Scotland, 17s, 19s, but I was like first team, that's where I want to be.
I still remember when we were younger in the 15s watching a Scotland A squad match. And I remember us both watching the national anthem and thinking like, wow, like that could be us one day.
My first debut was actually, I was 17. Yeah, 17 and I was on the bench. And that trip, I'd been called up late. Claire had been selected, so she was already there. And yeah, I just remember being on the bench, probably just like giggling away with Claire.
I think we were just stupid wee girls, but we did it together.
Caroline, your first goal for Scotland A squad tonight, how do you feel?
Great, yeah, obviously really happy to get a goal, but most importantly we got the 3 points, good performance as well, so really happy overall.
In the summer you were playing for under-19s at the Euros, and that was obviously a great experience for all the players. How are you enjoying the step up to the A squad since then?
Yeah, it's obviously a big jump, but I'm lucky enough to be here, and it's a great honour to be in the A squad and playing, so I'm really enjoying it, and it's been a lot of fun, so yeah, hopefully it can continue.
I do remember the goal. It wasn't one of my finest goals actually, it was actually, I nearly missed from like 3 yards now.
I mean, it was a bit of a...
Yeah, off the post and in, yeah. But yeah, it wasn't my best, but it had a lot of significance. Scoring your first goal for Scotland is cool.
We need something special here, and when you've got Kaz Weir on the pitch, then you get special.
I went to the loo and I missed that goal.
By that point, you know, she made a bounty of Scotland appearances as well, despite being so young. And you're starting to go, okay, maybe she is the next Kim Little.
Her touch or a bit of skill or a turn or a goal that she'd score would just be something like a bit of magic where you're just like...
I mean, I think for me it's kind of what dreams are made of.
I think too for the national team, the great support the women do get from the Tartan Army, and it's well Scotland are playing, that's why we're here.
All I want to see Caroline really do is go on the pitch, score a hat-trick, and like, that's it.
Bueno, sobre todo tiene una zurda maravillosa.
It doesn't really matter if you've got 1 cap or 100 caps, like each cap is still like a phenomenal achievement. It's been nice seeing some of her like hard work pay off as well.
I do remember playing against each other in the Euros, but I remember still wanting to watch clips going into this England v Scotland game because I needed to know how to get the better of her. And yeah, I can sit here now and say I never did.
Honestly, I just think of it camp to camp. Like for the last 10 years, I'm like, oh, next camp, get in that squad. And I want to be in the tournaments. So they're the biggest things for me. Like I want to be in the major tournaments. But at the same time, to represent Scotland for over 100 times is really cool too, and like a huge honour and something I'm super proud of. And like growing up, if I was to say that that would happen to like when I was like 8 or something, I would think that's the coolest thing ever. So it's a bit of both. Like, I don't know, I think 100 is cool, but at the same time, tournaments is also really cool, and that's where I want to be playing. Yeah, I'd always wanted to play abroad. As well, like I wasn't just going to move abroad for the sake of it. Like I wanted to come to a club where they were really investing, really ambitious, part of a project that was going to go and compete in the Champions League, in the league, sign good players, treat their women's team well. So it wasn't just going to Real Madrid because I was a massive fan when I was younger, and now that was cool, that was part of it, but like I wanted to push on in my career, and yeah, Real Madrid, I mean, it's the biggest club in the world.
But the signing itself, Real Madrid, obviously, that's where she's always wanted to go. I mean, that was her team, and Zinedine Zidane was her star player that she looked up to. Again, Madrid, like Man City, treat the women exactly the same. I mean, they're very good. The facilities are fantastic, and so it's a very positive atmosphere for women, which it's great to see, and it should be that way. But it's still not that in all clubs.
Yeah, when she finally was like, "No, I'm doing Madrid," I was so happy. I was buzzing for her.
But it was difficult because I was really happy at City. Like I say, Manchester was where I felt most at home. I was with Josh, we had a dog, like all my best friends were in Manchester, the Northwest, like everyone was around, like it was so sociable, it was really fun, loved the team. I just had this like little feeling though that it was maybe getting a little bit too comfortable, and I don't mean that in like, oh, I always thought I was going to play, because I never ever felt like that at City. It was never comfortable in that sense because I was always surrounded by good players.
When I heard she was going to Real Madrid, my brother lives in Madrid, and I said, you're going to absolutely love it. And I remember going out there, I got a coffee with her, and she was just smiling from ear to ear. And I was like, I don't even think people realise how well she did that first season. I think she had top assists. I think she got player of the season, didn't she? Like, to go to a new league, settle in and kind of set the league on fire with her performances, yeah, incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible, really. There is actually no other word for it. You know, it's one thing just saying, okay, I went across and played for them, but to really star for them, you actually are their main gal as well.
Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets. Cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocketeer and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise here, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again.
Olaf, do you give me a big clap?
Yes.
Bueno, en su trayectoria en el Manchester City, en los 2 últimos años creo que estuvimos siguiéndola hasta que pudimos acceder a ella. y bueno, creo que es una jugadora muy especial.
Sí, obviamente sí, Caro es una jugadora muy diferencial, es una pieza clave en nuestro equipo y para nada me gustaría enfrentarme muchas veces contra ella porque es muy determinante y bueno, en cualquier momento puede aparecer y es muy peligrosa.
Bueno, sobre todo la capacidad que tiene de encontrar espacios, es una jugadora muy inteligente en el juego, capaz de detectar qué necesita su equipo en todo momento. A veces es una jugadora que viene a construir o a veces una jugadora que termina muy bien las últimas jugadas en el último tercio del campo y nos da siempre la acción buena del juego. Es una jugadora que siempre mejora la jugada, por lo tanto, jugadora muy especial para nosotros, muy importante. Bueno, eso, creo que es una jugadora especial en el juego ofensivo, una jugadora que acumula mucho juego, que es capaz de ser muy diferencial. Venía de un contexto en el Manchester City con un sistema muy marcado, donde el 4-3-3 es un sistema que utilizan siempre, que no se pueden salir de esa zona. Estaba muy enfocada en el lado izquierdo, con un foco de acción muy corto. Y bueno, el Real Madrid creo que ha encontrado esa libertad que necesita una jugadora de su talento para fluir y creo que lo ha hecho fantásticamente bien.
Es una jugadora para nosotras muy importante. Creo que nuestro ataque viene determinado también por sus acciones muchas veces y bueno, pues como te digo, es un privilegio que esté en nuestro equipo y bueno, para mí es una de las mejores jugadoras del mundo.
Yeah, you definitely adjusted. So you won the essentially Player of the Year in your first season. Could that first season, did you ever envisage it going like as well as it went?
Probably not, no. I think it was, because I was like, I'm going to give myself 6 months basically, like new country, new language, new team, like not too much pressure, just see how it goes. It'll take, there's going to be like a settling in period for sure, but there wasn't really, it just kind of hit the ground running.
Madrid have won the ball back in a dangerous part of the pitch. Opportunity to shoot, and they've scored. And it just had to be Caroline Weir, didn't it? Can you believe it?
Like the kit is so nice. Like I love the all white kit. I think there's no other kit out there that is so iconic, like the all white Real Madrid kit, and having your name on the back and then representing Real Madrid in the Champions League, playing Barcelona, playing in a cup final with all the Madrid fans. It's just like, those are the things that I dreamt of.
Creo que es una jugadora, al principio es un poco tímida, un poco en las relaciones, pero poco a poco se ha ido haciendo con el grupo. Creo que es una jugadora y una persona muy entrañable, muy cariñosa, la cercanía inteligente, que sabe perfectamente lo que quiere y bueno, está muy integrada en la vida nuestra, en la vida de Madrid.
Yeah, it was quite overwhelming. I think like moving to a new country, the language, the heat. We moved over in July. It was so hot, like 40 degrees, like, and I was just like walking around Madrid at like 2 in the afternoon thinking, oh God, like Madrid is like quite quiet for like a major city. Like, where's everyone? I was like, this is class, like parking's easy, like all this kind of thing. No, it was just like no one was walking around with a rucksack at like 2 in the afternoon, like obviously the Scottish tourist women was.
Muy grande, creo que a nivel numérico hizo una grandísima temporada, hizo 28 goles, 19 asistencias, tuvo un impacto muy importante en el juego ofensivo del equipo, fue muy diferencial, muy decisiva. Vimos una jugadora que no estábamos habituados a ver, con un gran talento, muy específica en su juego, una gran pierna izquierda.
I don't really get too high with it or too low with it. Like I really stay pretty balanced throughout the season, and it's only looking back, and especially last season, having that time to look back as well and think, oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
It's concerning the way Caroline Weir has gone down. Quite a bit of pain here. Clearly in discomfort, holding her face.
Yeah, it was. I think when she'd gone down, like, I think deep down I actually knew, but I was like lying to her. I was like, "You're fine, like, are you okay?" And she was like, "I've done it, like it's done."
It's so embarrassing. Oh, my makeup, sorry, 1 minute, guys.
I was on my phone watching it over and over again. I think my first thought it was, okay, she did her ACL. Then I was trying to find something that tells me something different. Then remember the next day I picked her up in the airport, her and Josh. And I was like, okay, tell me everything, what you felt and everything. And once she ended telling everything, with the three of us, we were like, okay, I think I knew what it was.
You're kind of fine. Like, I was kind of okay. Like, physically, my knee was, you know, there was no problems with it before I went into the operation, apart from obviously you've done your ACL, but like, you don't feel like you have, especially like a week or so after getting injured. Like at the start, it was a little bit painful, but not that bad.
It really was quite devastating for Caroline, and I think my eldest, Morven, she immediately went to Madrid.
So she came and saw me. She was sitting here with me, like, when I was just sitting on that bit of the sofa the whole day, and she would take me out to the garden for like 20 minutes and we'd try and break up the day, but I was in loads of pain and she found that quite difficult, didn't she? She was quite surprised at like how much pain I was in, so she found that kind of tough. And then she went away, and then like a week later my mum landed back in Scotland and came to Madrid, so she was here for 2 weeks.
I was just kind of like, whatever you need, I'm here. And she was just like, just try and be normal. So I was just normal with her, giving her banter already, like, well, you hurry up and get the op, like, stop like messing about and like stop crying about it type thing.
See ya. I'll see you on the other side, babe. You will.
I think we had a few FaceTimes, a few text messages just to check in, and obviously always kind of looking out on Instagram to kind of follow what she's up to and all the stuff that she does.
Do you know what? It's made me realise the Madrid postal service is rubbish. I've sent her so many packages and like letters, and I think 2 got to her and the rest haven't.
I think at the start I was like overwhelmed with like people reaching out. So once we're over that, then I was like, notepad and pen, what are we doing?
She's just got her head down, got on with it, done everything that you can.
She's kind of a strong woman. Yeah, she is.
It's pretty relentless, and you can come home and be in a lot of pain, or you can just be fed up, or you can be absolutely fine and go for lunch and be fine. It really depends. We did 60 kg and then 65, and then I think 70, something like that. Oh, and we did a bit of this. No. What did we do? We did loads. Oh yeah, this.
She was used to for long times to train and compete. That was her life, and that was going to not happen for a really long time.
I'm so lucky that I've had Josh here. Like, I think as well, what I didn't realise what it does to your partner or the people around you, your family, like, especially your partner though, because he's been here every day.
Could you give me a big clap, Caroline? Beautiful. Josh, you want to give me one as well?
Oh. You're just getting me involved, eh? You didn't need that.
Yeah. And you can go home now.
Yeah, literally. So obvious. Sky, where's your ball?
Oh, Josh. I can't believe a year has passed. In some ways, the slowest, most dullest year in my career, but in other ways, some of the nicest times I've had away from football. Like, nobody knows what the process and the journey is like, really, apart from Josh. He was there literally every day and saw me go through all sorts of different things, like physically obviously, but also mentally. And he's such a good sport. Like, we've been together for like 5 years, so he kind of just understands it, the football stuff. But obviously this injury was totally new for both of us. Like, I've never been injured before, so to then have like a really long-term injury, we weren't really sure what like it was going to be like, and it was like one final test before we got married. So but I think we did pretty well overall, like, and he was so good for me. Like, he keeps me calm, and he's so like rational, and like just is there to listen, and sometimes not even say too much. So I just feel like we work really well together, and especially through the last 12 months, I think we did, like, you were really great.
Thank you. How was it for you, John? Yeah, it was hard. Like, I mean, yeah, obviously it was just like really difficult seeing Caroline go through that and not being able to do too much beyond just like, yeah, doing what I could do, like help her down the stairs and get her ice packs for her game ready and just all that kind of stuff. But it was mainly just like losing all that fun stuff that we had the year before. Like, that was, yeah, it was just tricky. It took a big part of our life away, really, that we had gotten kind of used to, and maybe I don't think we were taking it for granted, but it definitely now makes me remember to not take it for granted. Like, when she is playing and that, like, having that taken away from her was, yeah, it was hard, because I love watching her play and enjoy it so much, and seeing her like do so well in something that she loves is fun. So not having that was hard. But then equally seeing her go through it and seeing her smash recovery essentially and just have that mental strength was impressive, and yeah, basically reminded me why I could never get anywhere near that kind of level of like discipline and that level of commitment. Like, it was just amazing. Like, within 24 hours her mindset had switched. Once you know, we had the diagnosis, she was just, her approach to it all was it was just amazing. Like, she was so strong about it and just determined to get back, like, within 24 hours, which I found to be amazing. I would have spent a week being stroppy and moody, whereas she never did that. So yeah, it was hard, but at the same time, pretty impressive as always, really. She's showing off, eh?
She is a bit, actually.
Yeah. Sky.
Nervous, very nervous, excited, pleased to see her back, and they've got to win tonight, haven't they? So yeah, and she's up for it, we know that, so are the whole team. So, you know, I don't want to influence anything, but we have to win tonight, otherwise I will cry, so no cameras please.
I found it tough, I found it not overly enjoyable. There's a lot of self-doubt that comes into play. You really do wonder if you're going to get back to playing. Like, you genuinely don't know if that day will actually come. That's how I felt at the start. And people tell you it's going to come, but it's hard to believe. So you have to really trust the people you're working with, trust your body to recover. And then the day does come and you're like, oh yeah, all these people were totally right and it was fine, but it just takes time.
Evans for Thomas, oh, it's a lovely flick, and Caroline Weir to score! She does! And Caroline Weir is back, scoring goals in a Scotland jersey. 13 months on the sidelines with an ACL injury, and that is a sweet, sweet moment for Caroline Weir.
Oh my God, that moment was one of the happiest ones. So yeah, I was already happy to see her playing in the pitch, competing. That is what she really wanted to do. And then when she scored and everything, it was like, okay, it's the best way possible.
Yeah, it's also a lot of relief. Like I've seen a few other players talk about the relief of like being back, because I genuinely just feel like, oh my goodness, like I can actually still play football. Like, and you have those little moments throughout, like, oh, I can bend my leg again, that's a bit of a relief, or I can run again, that's also a relief. And then once you're back playing and the whole process of like, you know, you can warm up and play and just like all these things that you just haven't, I've never thought about it before.
In Helsinki for Scotland again. Finland set off the fireworks as they are off to the Euros. And Switzerland in the summer of 2025. But for Scotland and for the fans, there will be big questions after this playoff final.
Obviously the disappointment of Finland and not making the Euros was really difficult to take straight after, and you know, the lead up to Christmas, it was probably the one that it's been the hardest for me personally to get over. It took me a lot longer to get over that than other times before, I think because obviously I'm a bit older and I genuinely believed this was the time that we were going to do it. I thought we had a great chance, I thought we had the squad, I thought we felt ready, and you know, we did give it everything. There's not much more we could have done, so that in itself is difficult as well. It's an honour to lead the team out at home. You know, that's something that you dream of as a kid and as a footballer, so I did enjoy that responsibility and being a leader, and that's obviously something that I'm trying to develop as I get a bit older. So yeah, that was a proud moment, but obviously at the end of the day the biggest thing was getting the wins, and you know, we didn't do that. And I think for me as well, I do take quite a lot of responsibility there. I know it's obviously a team sport, but having been in the squad and being one of the senior players, that does hit me hard, and I do think, what more could I have done to be better? And I think that's probably also why it took me a while to get over, because, you know, could I have done a bit more? Probably, but at the same time there's so many factors that come into it, and we talk about the injury, and so it's hard, but yeah, no, it was an honour. And once the emotions kind of come out of that defeat, everything's a bit clearer, and it's very clear to me that my goals remain the same. There's no change. In fact, it just makes you want things more. You know, my goals are to qualify for a major tournament with Scotland, 100%. That's not changed, and play for Scotland. That's a huge honour for me, and that hasn't changed. So, you know, if selected, I want to be there, and I want to represent Scotland for as long as possible. And then of course with Real Madrid, nothing's changed there. We want to win, we want to compete in every tournament, and yeah, just to stay fit and enjoy playing football.
When the time does come, eventually, when Scotland get back to a major tournament, that pain is all going to be worthwhile, because that is the fuel to their fire, and to nobody's fire more than Caroline's.
I think you need that maturity. I think she's got that maturity. I think she's got that level of skill. I think she's got that level of calmness. I think people trust her, and I think people look up to her. So I think if you're looking at leadership qualities,
Caroline's so humble. She's, as you say, she's that very down to earth, and she's so approachable, and I think that was massive for me as a young player, you know, coming into the squad.
Bueno, Caro, lo que yo le suelo decir es una persona que para nosotras es una capitana sin brazalete, y bueno, para nosotras es muy importante, sabemos.
I feel as though Kaz kind of knows what role she has to play now. I think especially for Scotland and that future generation of young players, and trying to continue to raise standards and professionalism of the women's game in Scotland, but also for female footballers and females themselves.
Players are now getting to experience the world through women's football. And yeah, I look at them now and I think finally they're kind of getting the credit that they deserve. Do we always think things should be better? Of course we do, and we'll always strive for that.
There's no ego about her. She's still very humble and modest, the way she speaks to people. And I think that's a great strength about her. You just can't dislike Caroline Weir. She's just a super person.
She's a fantastic role model. We always use Caroline as an example of what you can be.
I think for now, sometimes it's nice to pause and reflect, and I think you can do that through the eyes of players, and Kaz is certainly someone who I think Scottish international, played for Man City, absolutely smashed it, won FA Cups, scored dinks over Man United goalkeepers, and now she's playing in the Spanish League where she's obviously winning player of the season.
Again, I think it's something that has only recently maybe actually dawned on Caroline how proud the city is of Caroline.
I was a wee bit nervous at first, but I think that initial 5 minutes of just warming up with her and seeing how down to earth she was, and just be, you know what I mean, just talking to her and how she could relate to me and how she used to come and watch me when I was a player. It was amazing.
And I think as well, seeing somebody that has sat in the same chairs and then is now playing for Real Madrid, like that can happen.
Y nada, para mí Caro es una de las mejores jugadoras del mundo, entonces merece lo mejor y ella sabe que yo le llamo la cabra. Y bueno, a pesar de que no le gusta por la humildad que tiene, creo que se lo merece todo y más después de haber superado esta lesión tan importante que ha frenado su carrera, ha vuelto de la mejor manera posible y ahora le toca disfrutar.
And she is an inspiration to not just myself, to all the girls and boys that come in from this local area. Look up to Caroline Weir, and you see that when we do our camps, and you see the amount of girls that have got Man City, Real Madrid, Scotland tops with Weir on the back. It just shows you how much she's inspiring our local community.
This is what I mean though about her being humble. She's not sitting thinking, well, my name's Caroline Weir and I'm a great footballer and blah blah. She's going, gosh, they've come to see me. That's amazing.
She's an icon as well for younger girls, looking up to Caroline and they aspire to be a football player just like Caroline.
For so many young girls that play football in Scotland, imagine seeing Kaz Weir turn up at your soccer camp and going, wow, she plays for Real Madrid. And I think by doing that, she's just allowing these girls to dream of having the same journey.
Yeah, just sharing the pitch with her, it's just, you know, something that I've dreamed of since I was a kid, and I don't think there's a feeling quite like it. To know that, you know, you can come from Scotland and you can go on to achieve some really great things, I think it's so inspirational. I think she'll be inspiring so many young girls around the country, and I think that's really special.
So as long as Caroline's drive is high, then the world is still a very bright place.
Yeah, like it's weird because like sometimes I just see myself as like a teenager, like loving football, playing football, but then there is a part of me that's like finds it really cool that you have young kids that look up to you in some way. I find it strange, but I'm also like, well, yeah, it's kind of cool. Like coming from Dunfermline, making it to Madrid, you know, that full story, and I've always said like I would have loved that kind of role model growing up, like especially from your hometown. And as a woman in sport, I think it is so important for young girls to have these role models that they can really relate to, and try, you know, aspire to maybe follow a similar path. I think the women's game's so unique that we've all kind of overcome like different levels of adversity to get to where we are, and we're quite aware of that, and there's a genuine feeling that we want to leave the game in a better place. Like comes from a very genuine place, and it's, you know, pretty much every player feels like that because of what they've had to kind of overcome. So I think that's why the women's game is so unique and special in that way.
I can say so many great things about Kaz on the pitch, but I can also say that she is just a fantastic girl that deserves everything that she gets.
That is not just for the cameras. I do this all the time.
Is there anything you want to say? Is there anything that you want to say?
Oh no, we've said enough. We've talked and talked. I think you could be here till Christmas and we still would be talking.
No, but thank you.
I miss you, mate. Keep smashing it. I'm so proud of you coming back from your ACL. I know how tough it is and how tough it was for you. I can't wait to see you soon and woo woo woo.
Never. He's actually decent, you know. He's been described as a Rolls Royce of Sunday League. That was class.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. I must tell her I was asking for her as well.
Caroline, congratulations for everything you've achieved in your career so far. It's been an absolute pleasure to play a small part in that and watch you grow, watch you develop, and I'm looking forward to doing that even more.
Just don't film a drive-in.
You want to see it?
Okay, good.
Hey guys, it's me, Mara. Thank you for being such a good person, and you make me feel really comfortable walking with you, and you make me give the opportunity to become an even better person and physio. So thank you so much.
Maybe I'd just give a shit interview. Like maybe get the headband off for starters.
That's pretty good. She also skips songs at really annoying moments. Like she listens to the first minute and a half and then skip. And I'm like, what the f?
I always threatened I'd come and like deface it, but obviously I've not.
Every time she goes past it, she's like...
You're still filming, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. I like that bit.